Well, the governor of our state, Greg Abbott, joins us now live, and it gives us the chance to check in with him regarding a couple of topics this afternoon. First of all, Governor, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And I want to begin with your take on the COVID-19 numbers in Texas. We know that new cases continue to pop up even as we are now in phase 3 of the plan to get everything back up and running. Are you still confident that we're moving at the right speed?
You know, I think we are. Listen, it's important that we continue to begin to open up business, but also it's important that we maintain control of the spread of COVID-19. And one thing that we've seen is that, yes, there has been an increase in the number of people testing positive. At the same time, the number of people being tested has increased even more than the percentage of people testing positive. And so all of these numbers must be kept into context. The main things are this, and that is Texas has plenty of hospital beds for anybody who tests positive for COVID-19 to be able to access. The positivity rate remains under control. We have had some challenges in certain hotspot areas, such as in meatpacking plants, such as in jails and prisons, as well as in nursing homes. But we've surged resources to those areas to make sure they can get contained. And just within a week or two after that, those test numbers go back down and the community normalizes.
All right. In recent days, you know, we've seen crowds protesting the death of George Floyd. Do you think that gives the public a false sense of confidence about the safety of large gatherings? And are you worried about maybe seeing a spike in cases after that?
We are worried about the possibility that there could be an increase in the spike of people testing positive for COVID-19 in the aftermath of these large gatherings. They have taken place across the entire state, but look at the large urban areas, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, etc. And we're talking about 5,000 to 10,000 people, sometimes even more than that, gathered together in ways in which they are so close to each other, sometimes without masks and other things in which they're not following safe distancing practices. So it is almost the perfect situation for the spread of COVID-19. It'll be several more days before we are able to determine whether or not it has led to an increase. One thing that we have done, however, is the state of Texas has surged into the areas where the largest protests have taken place to make sure there is more testing available so that we will be able to know soon whether or not there has been an increase in COVID-19 in the aftermath of these protests.
Now, going along with that, earlier today, President Trump indicated in a tweet that he might start holding rallies again as early as, well, maybe even next week. How would you feel if he decided to hold one here in Texas?
Well, one thing that we are prepared for in Texas, if you look at my most recent opening announcement, and that is that stadiums can go to a 50% capacity, and that includes baseball stadiums and football stadiums, et cetera. The same thing applies to conventions. There will be the Republican Party convention taking place in July, and we are anticipating a capacity for that of about 50%. We do, however, still need these safe distancing practices in any type of gathering like this to make sure that we are doing everything possible to contain and control the expansion of COVID-19.
Governor, let me jump to a different topic of sorts. You attended yesterday's public viewing in Houston for George Floyd. And as you know, the Nueces County Republican Party chair had reposted a theory on Facebook that the death of George Floyd was perhaps a staged event. Now, you called for Jim Kalen's resignation. That did not happen. Do you still think it would be a good idea for him to step aside?
We need to be more level-headed and get away from these wild conspiracy theories that have no grain of truth whatsoever. Everybody saw exactly what happened to George Floyd, and that is he died under the knee of a police officer in an act of police brutality. And that's exactly why I was in Houston yesterday. So I had the opportunity not just to go to the viewing, but also I went yesterday because I knew that provided me an opportunity to spend private time with the George Floyd family in their own home. And I got to meet and talk with them about how George was killed, but also how we can work together to build a lasting legacy of the life of George Floyd in a way that makes it for a more positive outcome and more positive direction for the state of Texas and for the United States.
Would you still recommend that the chair here resign?
I think it is inappropriate for people who spread these completely false conspiracy theories for them to be in positions of authority in our political party. And so I think it's inappropriate for people who spread these conspiracy theories to remain in office.
All right, Governor, I've got about a minute here. Let me ask you, when it comes to the economy, how quickly are you anticipating that Texas can recover and rebound from the effects of the pandemic?
People need to understand that because of the public apprehension about safety when they go to a restaurant, when they go to other places, it'll take a little while for things to re-engage. That said, we have seen a very meaningful number already, and that is for the month of May, the airport in the entire world, not in the U.S., but in the entire world, the #1 busiest airport in the world was the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. It shows once again that Texas is taking a leadership role in digging ourselves out of this economic quagmire, and that Texas will once again be an economic leader worldwide.
All right, we have to end it there. Governor Abbott, we really appreciate your time, and of course, we always look forward to speaking with you, and we'll do so again in the days ahead. Thank you.
We look forward to it. Thank you.
Well,